That's wonderful. You have your own CDs out. This is the most recent of 3 CDs that you have.
Yeah, this one is called Samba de Novembro, and I recorded it a few years ago, but actually came out last year, and it's available through my website, rickstone.com.
Okay.
And also on CD Baby and Amazon.com, through some of the larger retailers online. This is the most recent. It was with drummer Matt Wilson, an incredible drummer, and Yosuke Inoue, my favorite bassist in the world, and he's moved back to Japan, but Yosuke and I played together for a long time, on and off. And Tardo Hammer is also one of my favorite musicians to work with, a wonderful pianist. And we tried to do a blend of things on this CD. There are a number of trio cuts with just guitar, bass, and drums. Tardo and I did a few duos in the tradition of Jim Hall, Bill Evans.
Okay. And your influences?
Well, all kinds of things. But I would say in jazz, my first real jazz guitar influences were like Jim Hall, Jimmy Rainey, Wes Montgomery. I met a guy in Cleveland who's actually pretty well known now for his comic books, a guy named Harvey Pekar. And Harvey invited me over to his place and just gave me a list of players. This is way back. And this is just like a one-time meeting, really, with Harvey. I got together with him, and he just told me all these guys I should be listening to.
I've seen his movie.
You've seen his movie, yes, American Splendor.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
okay. That's when he was starting to write those comic books.
And
Maybe
Crone.
volume 1 and 2 were out there, and in the 70s. And one of my psych teachers at Tri-C. And then I started listening to everybody. And Joe Howard said, you really ought to go to Berklee. And I finished the Tri-C, and so I started agitating to go to Berklee. And my parents weren't convinced. I taught music in Cleveland for a year, and then they realized how serious I was about this, and they helped me. And I came up with my own living expenses for the time I spent in Boston, and they helped me with tuition. And
really?
I did, and I did 6 semesters, the equivalent of 3 years of Berklee in 2 calendar years.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Because I had to get through before the money to run out, till the living money ran out.
It's expensive.
Basically, that was exactly.
Yeah.
Compared to Cleveland, it was expensive, and I did Berklee, went back to Cleveland, worked for a couple of years with a band called Night Flight, and we played Swingo's Keg and Quarter in the Theatrical Restaurant, and a lot of very nice rooms in Cleveland. But that was more of a lounge band. But we did our first set was usually a jazz set.
Yeah. Okay.
Then I went to New York in '82, and I've been there since.
That's wonderful.
Just pursuing teaching and pursuing playing, and
Now you play a Cummins guitar, Bill Cummins.
Bill Cummins. Bill and I met quite a few years back at one of the conventions out there, the guitar shows out on Long Island, and I liked his instruments a lot, and I liked him as a person. And I was looking for a guitar, and I was thinking about getting a new instrument, and then a year later, I had an accident. The guitar that I was playing fell over, and the brace broke.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And that prompted me to hurry up and do something about it. And I called Bill, and I hooked the first one up was an 18-inch, which is actually the one I play on that album. It's an 18-inch Tobacco Sunburst Classic, just like this one, but a little bit bigger body.
Right.
And then a couple years later, he made this for me.
Okay. Well, the combination of that guitar and your talent is unparalleled. It's beautiful, really beautiful. We have to wrap up.
Okay.
It was an honor, Rick, very much my honor to have you on. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay. you.